Thank you. Just some logistics, because some academic staff call me that they may not be able to turn up, so they request to take the sections. I hope you don't mind, and because I want to share the information to as many colleagues as possible. Let me introduce myself. I'm Morrison, the head of ITS. First of all, I would like to say this is not an ITS event. Actually, we have staff from LTTC, Alex and Carol from ISO, who is backing me up, just in case there's any question which I could not answer. Today I'm going to make it very quick, and you can see from the slide I will update you guys on the latest LMS Learning Management Systems status, and share with you how other universities tackle the problem. And also, I'm glad to have Professor Walker and his colleagues, the team, the APCLC team, to share the experience about they're using the Moodle to deliver the IEMA course. And I'm sure they will show some demo and some slides. Then I will go back to share how we migrate from Blackboard to Moodle, in particular about the schedule and the logistics support, so that our colleagues can and move from the Blackboard to Moodle easily. And then we will have a Q&A section, just in case you have any questions. Okay. First of all, let me introduce our learning support team. Actually, it's not an official team under the hierarchy, but it is a team formed by ITS, LTTC, and ISO. From the chart, you see our roles in the team. Basically, ITS is responsible for the infrastructure, that's the server, the network, and also some system administration. And LTTC is responsible for the frontline support, so that the interface with the user. If you are already a Blackboard user, you know what service LTTC is providing. They actually hold a lot of workshops and training sessions to colleagues. And also, as the Moodle is a learning management system, but it actually interfaces with the ESIS. So we need the support from ISO so that we could have the right information at the right time. For instance, if we have a new semester, all the courses, all the mapping of the instructor and the student will be in place, so that instructors or academic staff could just focus on the content. That's how we work. We basically work very close together. Actually, we meet every month, to discuss various matters, review the progress and various projects, and this is how we work. Okay, a little bit about the e-learning platform. I mean the LMS Learning Management System in Hong Kong IAD. We start quite early in 2001. We had our first LMS. At that time, it was an Australian platform called NextEd. We actually subscribed the service from this company in Australia, and which was basically a Blackboard version 4 system. So we have been using Blackboard for quite a long time. And in 2011, if you still remember last year, Alex, Carol, and I shared the project of upgrading the Blackboard to the Blackboard version 9.1. And at the same time, we started pilot testing Moodle in the end of 2011. So everything is moving quite fast, and we have been pilot testing Moodle for almost 2 semesters. Okay, at the end of this September, the Committee on Learning and Teaching under AB has endorsed to move from Blackboard to Moodle. This is a very important message that we will jump from one shift to another. And that means we have the green light to jump from Blackboard to Moodle. You can see I use orange whenever there's Moodle over there, and black color for the Blackboard. Okay. How about the other university in Hong Kong? We are not alone, so let me update a few. For instance, Hong Kong Baptist University has been using Blackboard for Moodle for many years. And actually, Professor Fong was actually the pioneer in using Moodle in BU at that time. And this year's, this academic year, Lingnan universities moved to Moodle from Blackboard, WebCT as well. And also, Hong Kong U Senate also decided to move from Blackboard to Moodle recently. And they are very aggressive too. For information, Hong Kong U is planning to move to Blackboard before the start of the double core. So they will do everything within 1 or 2 semesters. On the other hand, CU, HK, PolyU, and CTU is still committed to Blackboard. But one thing is for sure that most of the local university committed on one single LMS instead of multiple. In the past, Hong Kong U has multiple, did not have a standard on LMS. So some department may use Moodle, some department may use WebCT or Blackboard or other LMS. So it is a trend that they, maybe because of the resource limitation or training reason, so they will engage on a single LMS platform. So we are almost along this line. And one of the biggest users of Moodle is Open University in UK, Milton Keynes. And they are the biggest user right now in the world. So if you want to have a look at how Open U UK is using Moodle, you may go to their website and have a look. Okay, so there must be a good reason behind to move to Moodle. Moodle is an open source LMS with a large user base. Because after Blackboard bought the WebCT, the whole LMS market has been changed, and Blackboard is kind of dominated the commercial market. And then Moodle is picking up because it's open source. It is free though, so basically the market share of Blackboard and Moodle is kind of 50-50. Of course, there are some other choices of LMS, but basically the two major players, Blackboard and Moodle. And Moodle is relatively similar and easy to use, and also it has an open architecture. When I say open architecture, it means a lot. They actually, the source code and everything is open, so we could dig into the details and find out how to grab the data out or whatever, or build some interface. And because it's open, a lot of developers developed plugins which could extend the function of Moodle. So that's one of the reasons why Moodle is picking up so quickly. And also, one of the interesting things quite related to us is Moodle support outcomes and rubrics. For instance, you create an assignment and then you set up some rubrics or outcomes, say critical thinking or language skill. Then you can give grades or set the marks for each individual rubrics. So it would help us to accomplish our objective to do outcome-based learning in one way or other. It may not address all the needs, but it has this particular interesting features. And Moodle is free, but the support is not. Even though you jump to Moodle, but you still need to engage some service provider to provide the support of the software, because it's not a simple piece of software, and you still need someone to back you up. And strategically, Moodle, because Moodle is very popular in schools, so strategically, Hong Kong Ed may want to get closer to the school or collaborate with school with Moodle. Because for an ordinary school, they may not be able to afford to buy the expensive license. So this is one of the edge selling point here. And as I said, the open source things will enable us to extend the function or integrate it or collect, dig in more data from it for various purposes, such as research purposes. Okay. it is kind of a summary of different users, how users use the LMS. It's a general statement. Some users may just use the LMS, like Moodle or Blackboard, to share teaching materials or collect assignments. This is a very basic one. And some will use the collaboration features like the discussion forum and quiz to engage the students. And to the top end, you may have a course delivered 100% using Moodle. I'm not saying no one is better than the others, but different. It really depends how you use the LMS. Because if the course is more a face-to-face type of course, you may use the lower part of the features. If it is a full 100% online course, you may like to do it in the other way. Okay, so much about the latest status about the LMS in Hong Kong, in Hong Kong Ed. I would like to ask Professor Walker to share how they use the Moodle to do the IEMA.
Okay, thank you, Morris, and thank you for the invitation today. We appreciate it. Just a couple of things before I start. Yes, the IEMA is about 80 or 90% online, and you'll understand why in a little while. But we are at the moment instituting a teaching development grant institute-wide, where we are going to be piloting and trialling mixed mode courses. So that's where for people who teach face-to-face but want to try and make it a more mixed mode approach. I would suggest that when staff get their timetables for the double cohort, that they will become very attracted to mixed mode. Otherwise, they are going to be basically living in their offices. So you can have a look at this pragmatically if you wish as well. Just to remind you of this, we have not yet finished the first year of the IEMA. So what you will see is not a finished product, but it is a product that we have been working on, and it takes a lot of work, and it will for you, for a little bit over a year, mainly with this team here of Helen, Darren, Barbara, and Professor Hallinger, and a few others. So what you see is a work in progress, and we believe we're getting a little bit better at it each time. We have been working on the Moodle pilot now since it began, since Morris first kicked it off. You can't talk about a program and why you do it a certain way unless you understand, I guess, what the purpose of the program is. You can't use a tool without a context. And if you try to do that, you risk convoluting what you're trying to do within your actual course. So the aims of our IEMA was quite different from what Hong Kong IED had done before. We wanted to develop leaders with a capacity for effective cross-cultural leadership action. In other words, as you'll see in a moment, we were aiming at collecting principles from throughout the region, not just from throughout Hong Kong. We wanted to bring together people from a range of professional backgrounds, predominantly school-based, but also open to other professions that were related to that. Local schools, international schools, colleges, etc. And we wanted to create a stimulating, creative and practice-focused network. So what you'll see will not only be what we use to impart some of what we know, but more importantly, it's about how we make a network of learning that allow people, no matter where they are, to be linked in and to learn from each other. And that is the beauty and that is the power of things like Moodle. Markers, or these are the things that we want to be known for. Asia Pacific perspective. We are sick of people travelling overseas to do degrees like this, or doing courses that are distance in Hong Kong, like with Bristol and other places, when the Asia Pacific is our patch and we know it better than anyone else. And as you'll see when I talk about we, it's not me, it's the royal we. It's a whole team of people from different places. It's about executive development, so we're looking predominantly at school leaders, from middle leaders, heads of departments, etc., to principals, to superintendents. It had to be of the highest possible quality. And we benchmarked ourselves. We didn't do it in a managerial term, but we looked very closely with some of the best distance programs out of Australia, out of the UK, places that depend on their livelihood and depend on their existence for distance. It had to have a scholar practitioner orientation. So we're interested in applied leadership, we're interested in practice, but we want people who think and are scholars in their own right as they apply that practice in their school. Intercultural leadership, we know about that. That's another thing that we're good at. It's something that's missing in reality from other programs, and we have hooked in with international networks. As you'll see on our course, we have sessions run by people from University of London, from University of Melbourne, from Vanderbilt University in the UK. We have people from Chicago University, and we have principals from both Hong Kong and around. So we've got a real network within it, which both models and teaches, and we think that's very important. Course structure, simple. 6 modules online, and you can go and have a look at these online if you want to have a look at the structure. 1 residential module, because when you go totally online, people still like to talk and meet. And we had our first residential this year, and we don't have the residential in Hong Kong because it's too expensive. We take it to Thailand or somewhere. That allows people to get together, and then they come back, and the support is still offered for them on the Moodle and their assignments, etc. So it is as close as we are now to a mixed mode, Darren, I think. It's a mixed mode, but slightly different than what you would do. They have an inquiry project that they do online, and that's about the applied work as well. They can do it in a minimum of 18 months. They can start at any course. So there are, in effect, 7 entrance points for the IEMA. And so far we have had people starting at each course. So in terms of design, it is modularised. We have a lot of optional lessons, and we have a lot of circular linkages, if you like, where if people start in one module and they see something that's of interest, they can go somewhere and look at it. So it's kind of complex now. This is designed, and you can only do this with online, this is designed for maximum student flexibility. This is about what the students want to learn, when they want to learn it, and in many cases how they want to learn it. Why are we web-based? We're web-based because of the clientele, because of the people that we're after. Gender, work location. Whereas most of them are in Hong Kong, about 1/3 of them come from overseas. We've got people in Nanjing, people in Jakarta, people in Baguio, just outside Manila, Singapore, Thailand. And we've also got on the hook people from Korea and northern Thailand, Chiang Mai, etc., as we go through. Nationalities. So even though we have people in Hong Kong, we have Guyana, we have foreigners from Hong Kong, as well as local principals and vice principals from Hong Kong. For example, we have the principal of United World College, we have the principal of a local international primary school, we have the principal of a local Hong Kong primary school, we've got a deputy principal in a Hong Kong secondary school, we've got a principal in Nanjing school. Why do I tell you that? Because that makes a difference to what your course is like. That you've got to be able to cater to these different groups. They come from Australia, Canada, Hong Kong, New Zealand, Pakistan, teaching in a Hong Kong school, Singapore, and the United States. Position, about 40% principal, middle leaders. This is someone who's the head of a very large school council, if you don't want to know, and these are teachers. So we've got a very diverse group. Can you cater to them better in an online environment or in a classroom face-to-face environment? Rhetorical question. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it depends on all sorts of things like your skills, but I guess I wonder. Why did we go with the web-based learning? Because when this course was first conceptualised, and when it first got through the, whatever the committee is here, it had nothing to do with online learning. When it first got through, it was about a course that had 4 2-week residentials during the year. Once we started to look at it, we realised this is not going to work. This is not going to work. So when we went to web-based, we had to try and say, we had to convince people again, we wanted to enrich learning experiences. We could do that much more, we believed, through utilising the web and Moodle. Provide flexibility. We wanted to have learning, networking without any boundaries in terms of geographic boundaries. Although, if you ask us later, we do have a few issues with our course in China because of of some of the sites that they block. We're pretty open with what we allow on our site, so that doesn't always work. We wanted to facilitate communication. We believe that learning should be fun, and we build this into what we do. Learning's not a dull affair, or at least it shouldn't be, and we try to build in multiple forms of connection, both intellectual. So, what we're going to do in a moment is I'm going to stop boring you with these details, and Darren is going to actually walk you through some of the things we've done. That much of what we've done. That's all we can do. Remember, we're taking about 20 or 25 minutes to give you a snippet of something that has been our life for the last 18 months, and that has called on all our creative capacity. You're going to see how Moodle can work, but Moodle, as Alex and Boris will tell you, it's a tool. Moodle doesn't give you a good course. Moodle doesn't even give you a course or learning. You also need to have a purpose for what you're doing and why you're doing it, just you do with any class, but you've got to have a purpose for why you're using it and doing this way. If you're just doing it to make it look cool, to look sexy, I don't think that's the reason. You've got to have a reason educatively and intellectually. You've got to be curious. You've got to be saying, how can I use it? How can I extend it? Don't accept its limitations. You've got to be creative, because you've just got huge scope to be creative. And to be creative, of course, you need what? You need a team. You need more than people. You can be creative on your own, but not as creative, I don't think, Sylvia. You need persistence. You need persistence, definitely, because you've got so much learning. You need to be able to take a risk. Lots of things we've done have not worked. We will not show you those, of course. But we've got plenty of things that haven't worked, Ronald. And you've got to learn yourself. We have had to learn, for example, how to film, how to edit, both video and audio. We've had to, and we're still learning that, we've had to learn how to have immediate online impact. We've had to learn how to use the matrix, the marking matrix, the rubrics, etc. like that. We've had to learn how to narrate. And at one stage when we were starting, we were locked in our hotel rooms at a don't tell the bureaucracy about this. We were at a conference, and instead of going to the conference, we were locked in our rooms narrating our videos and narrating our slides to try and make sure we were ready to go, packaging them up, sending them back to Darren and Barbara, which was about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning for them, and they were loading them up. So you need persistence, and you need to be able to learn yourself, okay? Darren's going to work you through what we call learning portals. Portals are, of course, just an opening, a gateway, a doorway, a window, if you like, into learning. And within the program, there are these different ways of doing that. Narrated presentations, which we had to learn, video enrichment, reading portfolios, discussion networks, which have been just really picked up recently, what we call connection activities. They are, I think we get as much interaction as you do in a different course now, but we've got good, we've got our students are top class, so we're lucky like that. applied assessment, expert interviews. We can interview some of you at some stage, I hope. Linked resources, case studies, simulations and inventories. Okay? All right, so let's hand over to Darren and he can show you a little bit of what we've done. This is fairly open. We haven't censored too much, have we, Darren? Okay. Darren Bryant. Darren is a postdoctoral fellow working in the Asia Pacific Centre for Leadership and Change in the Department of Education Policy and Leadership. He's experienced in a school as a middle level leader, and he's got a PhD from Hong Kong U, but we have forgiven him for that. All right, off you go, mate.
Thanks. Rocky, how much time do I have? No, Rocky,
okay.
Morris.
Yeah, it's okay. 25 minutes?
Okay, great. Okay, so what I thought I would do is show you some of the output of our last couple of courses that we've developed. As Professor Walker said, we've had to learn a lot as we've gone, so we're busy revising some of our first courses. So I think it's probably better to show you something more recent. We'll take a look at two of our online courses. So one is called International Perspectives on Educational Reform, and the other is called Leading Organizational Change. And so what I would like to do is just explain a little bit about how we've structured the layout, and the navigation of it, and then look at a couple individual lessons and some of the features that we've built in, and then look at some of our assessment strategies and so forth. So that's what I'll try to do. I should mention, of course, that this is, just reiterating, that this is a full-on online course. So for many people, if you're teaching full-time face-to-face and you just want to have a place to post lessons and things like this might be more than what you want to do, but you might be able to take one or two strategies that look appealing and just use those one or two things. And so hopefully that's where it will be relevant. So in starting with the change course, this is our current course. I just would like to point out the structure. So what we've done is we've divided the course into instructional units. So A, B, and C. And within those units we have lessons. So we've followed this kind of pattern for all of our courses. Sometimes there might be 3 or 4 lessons in one unit. And then we have some generic resources that we follow this through on all of our courses. So what we've done is we've started with general introductory matter. So because we've been experimenting a lot with video lately, we've been trying to build that in more and more. And so what we've done is Moodle allows us to upload images, which then we can link to Hong Kong IED's video server, where we have these videos located. So for instance, if we click on Professor Hallender's face, we go to the introductory video.
Welcome to the course on leading change. This course should be one which both challenges you and is really enjoyable as well.
Okay, that's enough for that. This was filmed in our general office where we set up a mock studio, and Barbara did some video editing later on. So we also include some written text as well, because that way people can have the reinforcement 2 ways between the writing and the images. We provide a schedule, a general schedule for the course, some information about readings, our learning outcomes for the course and for our program as a whole and how they align together. A short description of the general themes, and these link down as well to the units of instruction. So these are also navigation aids as well. So if I was to click on it, you would go down to the beginning of that instructional unit. So rolling back to here. You'll notice too, we are working with icons. So we're using these as well to help provide visual cues to the students about how the course is structured and what components lie where. Assessment. We tried a few different things. At first, we were doing a lot of formative assessments, and we realized for short, quick courses like ours, too much assessment was a bit of a burden on students. At the same time, we wanted to give them feedback. So what we ended up doing is each course has 2 summative assessments and then 3 required connection activities. And so what we do here is we provide a booklet that describes the assessment. So if you click again on the image, this links to the assessment guidelines, where we provide general descriptions of the course and readings and assessment alternatives, which come down here, and we usually follow that with rubrics. So there's the rubrics that we use for grading. So all of this information is linked in. Okay, so that's, sorry, who's in this one? Okay, so more information. We also provide elective exercises for students to try if they want as well, and we call those application exercises. Okay. Information about the icons we use, etc., etc. So what I'd like to do now is I'll jump into how lessons are structured. So we'll look at this course, the International Perspectives on Educational Reform. So as I mentioned, we have units and then individual lessons. And we have this navigation feature here. So we'll jump down to lesson 4 on disconnection. And what we're trying to do is have this consistent pattern of having an introductory video for the lesson, a link to a narrated presentation, a link to a kind of key reading that we want to draw the students' attention to. And then in addition, we do short portfolios of readings that might contain 3 to 5 additional references if students would like to look at it. And then we put the lessons up in PDF format as well. Some people like to print out the PDFs and take notes as they go. So that's why we do that. So again, if I click on here, you get Professor Walker's introduction to the lesson. This was our first effort, and we did this in a classroom just down over here. And so you can hear the air con, you know, play. So the next round we did it up in our own office where we could turn off the air cons, and it went much better in terms of the volume. Into the lesson itself. Okay, here we go. We've been using a program called Adobe Presenter, and this allows lecturers to do narrations over their PowerPoint. So you'll see down the right-hand side, there's a kind of index that shows the number of the PowerPoint slide, its title, and how long it is. So that's the length of the narration. So you can skip along anywhere you want to, or you can start at the beginning.
My definition of reform and disconnection is fairly simple. I'm a simple man. What I
Okay, sorry. That was random, but anyway. So that's one thing to say to note is the narration possibilities. I'm also going to open up another lesson. Within each lesson, we can also build links as well. So here's another one we asked Professor Kennedy to do for us.
Welcome to the course on education reform in Asia and the Pacific.
And I'll just skip along to another slide down here, just to demonstrate, again, we've been working with icons to draw people's attention to the fact that there are links. And so in this case, we have a link to a document, and so people can click on that. And this is on an external site. Okay.
Welcome to the course. Welcome to the.
Okay. Or we can leave this icon we're using to indicate a web page, so you can click on that and link to that as well. And we've also done the same with videos and all of this sort of thing. So not only can you build links from within the Moodle site itself, you can also, within your PowerPoint lessons, you can build links and you can narrate if you want and put those up. I want to show you a little bit about some of the activities that we have been providing for students as well. Professor Walker was mentioning that we have been using discussion groups lately. And in fact, this came about as in response to a survey we did of students. Actually, we interviewed all of our students in our very first course and asked them for feedback on what we could do to improve. And some of them mentioned that we could do a better job of encouraging discussion. And one person in particular suggested, why not tie this in with assessment? So what we've done is not for every lesson, but for maybe about 3 times in a course, we've built in these connection activities. And these are discussion groups around a particular topic. So, for instance, this one is called Drivers of Reform. And what we ask students to do is for every student to get online, make their own comment in response to the task, and then give feedback to 2 other people. And we build in links, so wherever you see a colored link here, that goes to the discussion board. It's also down here. One of the advantages of using this web base of Moodle is that you can provide multiple links from multiple places. We will link in from those PowerPoint presentations as well into the discussion boards. So people they don't have to go back here to find the link. They can find it from many different places. And that all takes time to build in. So here, for example, you can see the different little discussions that were started and how many people responded to whom. And you can click and you can read through and see what people had to say. Okay? So that's another feature. I wanted to demonstrate also about the reading portfolios. I mentioned that for every lesson we built in reading portfolios. So I'll skip down to. For the first few in this course, we didn't actually do that, but here we have a reading portfolio. So you can actually put in a little description of what the portfolio contains, and that's what's there. And hang on a second. This is a little quirk we know. Just the last couple days, we've noticed that this is covering up the description. So there's every once in a while there's hiccups like this that we have to resolve. But the same description is there, so people have a chance to read about what's in the portfolio, and they have, in fact, 2 chances to read about what's in the portfolio. Then we have put in the readings and short summaries of what the readings are about. Because in this course, in our courses, we don't expect people to do every single reading. We want them to choose which readings are suitable for the assessments they've decided they want to do. So this can give them a brief sense of what it is they want to look at. And then simply by clicking on, it opens to the full portfolio. Okay. So that's another possible strategy. Another thing in our most recent course is we've been working with simulations. And so again, just by we've put in the image of the simulation, and if you click on it, it opens up the simulation itself. So there's all these sorts of connections that are possible. The last thing that I will show you, again, is in terms of our resources. So Professor Walker has mentioned that we've spent some time interviewing experts on different topics, and we align those different interviews to our courses. So for each course, we, in addition to the normal content, have some extension content, which is by way of interviews. And so here we have a short biography of Professor Brian Caldwell, and then
we've had a definition of
we link him to his
transformational
interview.
change that we've been using now for 8 years. And it seems to make sense in every country.
Now, one of the things that we'd like to improve on, in terms of, you'll notice the quality is a little bit blurry, and this, I believe, has to do with the optimal streaming bandwidth here. So, in fact, the raw quality is much, much better than this, but we're working on how we can improve this in actual streaming. So there are little things like that need improving. So we've included links to the library, to the online catalog, and to the tutorial site, because all of our students are away from campus and many in different countries. They're not likely to physically come to the library, so knowing how to use the online resources is something that we try to make available to them. And then lastly, as we go, we are compiling some references and guides, how to cite in APA format and things like this, some interesting links that come up, some applications, and then some of the publications from the Asia Pacific Center for Leadership and Change that we think students might find interesting. So it's a good, Moodle, to sum up, there's a lot of flexibility. Again, probably if you're offering normally a face-to-face course, this might be a little bit more than you want to do, but in terms of mixed mode approaches or a full-on online course, there's plenty of possibilities and flexibilities to do what you would like with Moodle. So I think I'll stop there unless Professor Walker, anything to add, or no? Okay.
Thank you, Sarah.
I only have a few slides to go. Are you going to take some questions?
If they have
handle not to write on some of the resources references that you're posting on.
Is there any other questions? I'll talk to you about that one later.
Compared with the Blackboard, what's the main advantage of using Moodle? The first question. And what's the big difficulty in using Moodle? The third is, for our class, it's usually face-to-face. How Moodle support us? For these courses, I think this is international, I think that's great.
First question, we have used Moodle the whole time. We have not used Blackboard at all in putting this together. We've been using Moodle. I've used Blackboard before. We predominantly wanted to use Moodle because I think for one of the reasons that Morris gave, most schools tend to use Moodles now. Most other organisations tend to use Moodle, so it's easier for us to articulate and to move in with those. Problems with Moodle, yeah, we've, what's that old Frank Sinatra song? I've had a few. Can you cover any of them?
Actually, it's a process. In the very beginning, we encounter a problem on video streaming, and we upload to Moodle itself, and later we found it's better to put it into the video server in school. And then it's different compatibility of students' browser, and sometimes because we use external software like Adobe Presenter, and we also have the geographic problem, like students in China, they have mostly it's accessibility problem. And a little bit more is that if you have a chance to see an empty Moodle course, it's really black, it has no color at all. So we are doing a lot through the simple HTML coding So it depends on how much you want to do with the course. So the problems, the difficulties is increasing in that way.
I think the lessons that we've learned along the way we're putting together, and we're going to take people who want to at IED, a group of 20 or 30 people through that to try and work it. But to be honest, the infrastructure at IED is not quite ready for this yet. I mean, it's a money thing. It's not anything to, in terms of the units. But in terms of quality video, we are, for example, using our own money to buy sites in Singapore that allow us to get the videos put into different formats so they're smoother in their work. But that will come, I would imagine, once more money flows into the infrastructure. But you've really got to work on your way around it. Your third question was fine, this is for international, but what about local? I don't think there's a difference. I mean, you can use the same methods in whatever language you wish, I imagine, and you can use the same methods just for 2 lessons rather than 12 lessons, or you can use it just for students when they go back for extension work. So I would see it as even there. Okay. Madam, please.
Yes, I was interested that you were talking about bandwidth. If I was using this for a possible program, reaching people in parts of Asia where the bandwidth is very narrow, is it really going to be a problem, do you think? Is there some way around it?
I think in the beginning we found it's a problem, especially actually in other like Philippines, Indonesia, no problem at all, because the narration is very small size, and the video we are compressed it to the lowest possible and visible way. But in China the bandwidth is not a problem, just they block some of the sites. So like like YouTube, we cannot share videos from YouTube to them. We need to look in other ways. So I think the bandwidth is the biggest problem.
Any questions?
Well, someone keeps asking about copyright. We're talking to the library about that now, so we'll give you more information on that when it comes, okay? But not now. Ronald, please.
It seems to me that it's all about ideas. If you don't have ideas, it makes no difference whether you use Moodle or Blackboard.
Exactly. Well, it doesn't matter whether it doesn't matter, you might as well not use it at all. But I mean, if you don't have ideas, are you going to be a good teacher anyway? I mean, Moodle is a tool, Blackboard is a tool. They need, like we said, they need the creativity, they need the purpose, they need the persistence, the serious, the intellectual input to work. But it is only a tool.
I would say 2 things though, that I mean, early on I did spend quite a bit of time looking into Blackboard, and what I found compelling about Moodle was it just seemed much more intuitive to use. I found I could pretty easily work out what I needed to do by being like, I'm not an IT specialist at all. I don't have a background in that, but I could just, by being a normal user of Moodle, or a normal computer literate person, I could work out what to do. Whereas I found with Blackboard, I had to take classes, I had the people teach me every move. I found it very difficult. So that, I would say, is an advantage. And the other is the open source nature of Moodle. So if you do have an idea, probably someone has developed a plugin that will help you do what you want to do. Whereas that's not necessarily the case with Blackboard. So that's what I would say.
Okay, I have two more slides to show. I'm sure Darren and Alan will answer any question you feel when you go on. But the next question is how to get started. And as usual, just like Blackboard, the Moodle course will be created 2 months before the start of the semester. So for the next semester, starting in 2012, the course is already there. So what you need to do, the course is the structure, no content. You can find your students in your and register to your courses in Moodle and also in Blackboard. So you have both. And teaching staff just log in to the site. The URL is very simple to remember. Moodle.ied.edu.hk. Log in with your account, and then you will see the course you're going to teach in the coming semester. And then you could start to put in things, content or whatever in there. And as usual, LTDC will offer training workshops. I was told Alex will offer special to entertain special requests on training workshops to academic staff if they're going to put courses in the next coming semester. And it's ready now, so just log in and have a go. And by the way, and IEMA Day has a demo courses. You may need to get some permission from Darren so that they can allow you to have a look at the demo course, just in case they want to have an idea what's all about. And it's very useful. You may not be able to use all the functions and features, but at least some of the good things you may want to use or refer to. So, what sort of support is available? I have to say, because the Blackboard and Moodle have slightly different architecture. For instance, Moodle uses topics, a way to present the courses. So even though you may be able to migrate some of the files or whatever, you still need to organize, put it in a properly Moodle's way. So you may need to do it. You may need to upload the files and then put things in the right place yourself. And then you may need to do attend some training workshop or consult the colleagues in LTTC to see how you could start. You can start small and then eventually slide APCLC and build up the course eventually. And in LTTC, you could contact Dr. Mei Chen and Wilson Chen, and they are very helpful. And also to support colleagues to move to Moodles, we have some student help. We have secured some funding, so that if you have some course you want to move to from Blackboard to Moodle or from create courses to Moodle, you could contact us, our Edward Wong, and then we'll get some student help to help you out. Please note that we only have limited resources. First come, first serve. and we secure funding basically for this academic year. So I really want to create a momentum so that more colleagues could move to Moodle in the next semester, so that we don't have so much change during the double cohort period. So the whole thing is to reduce the risks. So the next question is, when will we retire Blackboard? And maybe there are some colleagues who still want to hang around the Blackboard, but the CLT endorsed that we gradually migrate from Blackboard to Moodle. Tentatively, we will keep Blackboard until end of 2013. So it's 3 semesters away. It's very generous because in Hong Kong use case, they will finish it before the September of 2012. So I hope we got enough time to do the migration. Even though we are asked to do an online survey to our colleagues, and we will get some statistics from you about the retirement of Blackboard. And the Moodle is already there, so there's nothing to worry about. But for your information, we are paying about $1 million to support and subscribe the Blackboard system. So 1 year delay, we need to pay $1 million for that. And from the student's point of view, students have to interface during this period 2 different LMS. For instance, enroll your course here and enroll another course in Blackboard. They have to deal with different LMS. That's the considerations. So we need to move ahead and make room for the new stuff. There are a lot of new stuff coming. For instance, the Mahara things, and also the mobile device, and webcasting, augmented reality. Many new stuff coming. So we need to get rid of the old stuff and then move ahead. So that's what I was trying to say. And just now we covered some questions. Do you have any other questions regarding that? Yeah.
Can you just go back to the slide with your phone number? I don't know.
This one?
No, the one with the phone number.
Okay. Talk along.
today. Since I find that most workshops with the registration, but for this one, none.
No.
So I'm scared that when I come in, no
Okay.
place for me.
Okay.
And so I need to come 10 minutes earlier.
Okay.
I suggest that for us to do the registration so that ensure that we have a seat over here. Since we two come here earlier, but we can't get in this room. But this is the first one, suggestion, okay? Another thing is about, concerning about another slide.
Retirement?
Yeah, this one. You just mentioned that to phase out this platform will be on year 2013. And then from now on, we have still much time.
Yes.
But another online survey. And I don't want to go open the online survey. For example, there will be 10% of staff saying that no retirement. And then we still need to pay 1 million. Not 10,000, okay, 1 million. And in order for this, is it possible to announce to the staff that we now to take time for the training course so that we know how to use the Moodle? On the other hand, will there be some kind of self-help menu demonstration so that we know how to use this Moodle? For example, Joe just suggests that this one is much user-friendly. And so that I think it may not take much time for us. And so I think money is important for home IM. Can't be even a small sum, not a small sum. I think we need to take time. Since you say that due to funding, first come, first serve, that's recognize. So we need to be hurrying for some kind of support. I think give us some more time and to get us for the time and also well informed so that we can align our important tasks so that we can the schedule of the issue.
Okay. Are you saying that no, we don't need to do the online survey? But that's the decision of the CLT, so we have to do it to collect. Actually, it serves multiple purposes. It consults our academic staff. Some may not be here today, and also we collect some statistics on how you are using the LMS right now. Regarding the time allowed for the migration, we have about 3 semesters, 1.5 years to do the migration. And so no need to rush, but personally I think the earlier we do it, the more comfortable I am. And actually LTTC will organize a workshop every time.
Actually, the decision has been made by CLT, as you see, to gradually migrate or move from one platform to another. And the decision has been made tentatively that the two systems will be parallel running until the end of June 2013 when Blackboard will retire. This is the decision for now, but our senior management are always very soft people, but firm sometimes, and they need, and they want, and they like to consult. And therefore, they recommended that Morris conducts an online survey, and the survey will be very short. Only 5 questions. And the important question is, do you have any worry about such a time frame? Or perhaps you would like to move it faster and save money for the institute. You can say, oh, I'm ready in just next year. The latest is by end of June. You can still stay put with Blackboard and use it for 3 more semesters. And the survey results will be given to the senior management to look at the general view of many academics who are not present perhaps today. At least they can indicate whether they are comfortable with such a pretty long time frame for the so-called switching over. So the decision to move is already set, and the tentative timeline is 1.5 years away. We will retire the Blackboard system, and so colleagues should be well prepared with the 3 semesters in that sense. And why don't we move it too early? Because we were worried about next year, 2012, with the double cohort. And there are so many things coming. So better be prepared for a little longer timeline for switching over, instead of pressing people to jump over to another bulk or ship next semester or next year. So that's pretty generous in a way. So that's why Morris has been trying to secure another $1 million from his line manager to keep the Blackboard license for a year until 2013. The current license expires in 2012, next year. She will do it. But he secured another $1 million to extend it till 2013. And ongoingly, LTTC and our colleagues have always already been offering workshops, scheduled and to be registered online. If you go to our website or sometimes look at our announcements, you will be able to look at the scheduled kind of workshops, introducing you to Blackboard, introducing basics to Moodle and other advanced usage of the two LMS. What we are trying to provide additional support is if the schedule we offer are not fitting your time, you can anytime phone us. We will arrange on demand time schedules fitting you or your group of team people in your department, or just one person is enough. We will do a one-to-one tutorial, or 1 to 5, or 1 to 3. We will, on top of our scheduled workshops, provide additional on-demand tutorials and workshops for our staff. That's the best we try. And we learn together, and I thank you, Alan, for a very good presentation. I think don't run before you walk. They are more sophisticated already. What you see today is not the basic look of Moodle. The basic look is a little bit more simple and intuitive. And now you can already go back and just log into moodle.idd.edu.hk using your email account. So it's just a one-stop, one email account, one password already. And you can go either into Blackboard or go to Moodle. And the courses are already so-called synchronized with the next semester registration as of today, because that's the ISO business of synchronizing with the banner student information system. So you have the choice of either using Blackboard to help deliver some materials or your course to students, communicate with them, or choose 1 or 2 courses and try to move over to Moodle. And with a link added to Blackboard, you can direct the students to Moodle, or alternatively back from Moodle to Blackboard as you like. So there are plenty of opportunities of learning together, sharing together. In the future, I think we can organize more sharing sessions. I think I've learned a lot today, and for the other colleagues as well, about the content design and the content development and the content production, because before you talk about content delivery. Here, the platform, the Moodle or Sakai or whatever system, Blackboard, are but delivery systems, delivery platforms, right? The gist of the thing and the most valuable thing in his head and the team's head, the content, the design, and then what's worth reading, what's worth discussing on forums or whatever. Whether you use video or not, that's a different choice. You can choose any multimedia, PDFs, or just a Word document, or just a slide, or just a PowerPoint, anything you like, or you find suitable to your needs. I think fitness for purposes, the word.
If anyone does want to shoot higher, have high expectations for their courses, we will be asking for a limited number of people who want to actually move through as a cohort for a year to work on either full web-based or mixed mode learning over the last year. We're taking about 20 people through the second stage of our course starting in June. So if anyone's interested in that, in using it and taking it further in early mode work, we will be.
So you can email or announce to colleagues if they would like to get on board and your TTG, working together, learning together. I think that is a great thing for our collaborative sharing. And you need to go home and look into this. Get yourself interested and learn more about what's available. So the parallel run will last for 3 semesters, 1.5 years away. So you don't need to be testing yourself. You don't need to jump and migrate immediately. When he said migrate, actually every staff or teaching staff, they need to rethink, plan about your course. Sometimes what you put on the Blackboard, you think is worth putting on the Moodle, you just upload it to the other platform. And with the Moodle, you can have many languages, choice of Chinese or English or even some languages which you don't know. And you can use also, I think, a lot of other multimedia possibilities. And I think they have done a very good job already. Their system is very sophisticated in some ways. Yes, sir.
I like those suggestions. Sure. Because I think this presentation is very useful. When we invite more colleagues, Ms. Sharon can focus on how their pedagogical ideas get realized using Moodle.
I think today they've done a good job in bringing this pedagogically sound approach rather than considering the technical perspective alone. Because we've been too focused sometimes on just the technical side of the matter. That comes secondary to me, I think. The important thing is the pedagogical. The difficulty sometimes I can understand is getting the academics together for a session like today. Although this is pretty important and announcement, unfortunately, I think we have now we don't see that many academic colleagues to use half around. That's why we need to film it and then put it on the IES website so that people can at least have a taste of what's available. We hope to organize more seminars or sharing sessions in the future, but getting people to attend is sometimes very challenging to us as well. Even the workshops. We try to offer a lot of workshops, and sometimes we find very few people registering, or even after registration, they have some difficulties. So, but I think the pedagogical side of the matter is very important, and that's the beginning.
Okay, that's more or less what we want to share. Now, remember the URL, the Moodle, you can log in anytime and play around with it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.